Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. If you saw our video on the Springfield Armory 1911 DS Prodigy, you probably saw that it came with a holster when they sent it to us, as well as this flashlight and this belt. But I took those out of the original video because the video was getting really long to begin with, and adding this would have made it a lot longer, but I said I'd do a follow-up. So this is a fairly short video to talk about this belt, the holster, and since they've actually released it by the time you'll see this video, on Springfield's website, there's a number of other holsters, and for the 4¼ inch version, there's actually a couple inside the waistband. The majority of the holsters for this are outside the waistband, but there are some inside the waistband, and Blackpoint even has a couple additional holsters. So enjoy the video. This is the Surefire X300U weapon light, and you'll notice it fits perfectly on this gun. That'd be an option you'd be able to buy separately, but one of the things you're looking at is, if I buy this, and it's a different design than your classic 1911, are there things available? Yes, it comes with a 5-slot Picatinny rail, or a single slot if you get the 4¼ inch version, and even holsters are going to be available. So this holster I showed at the beginning is a Blackpoint Tactical Mu holster, and it's a Kydex holster. Now it isn't outside the waistband because, of course, being a match gun, that's what the intent of this is. If I turn the holster correctly, the gun will go in it more easily. But you'll see, light and all, including the red dot, it mounts relatively easily. And this is a holster that is made specifically for this gun. So day one, when the gun comes out, this holster should be available. It'll fit the red dot and the flashlight. Now, the future, I'm sure some inside the waistband holsters will become available for this line, but you know, this is starting to get a little bit on the big side for inside the waistband. It would be very effective for that. It's just going to be a little bit bigger and bulkier. This holster has quite a few different features, and I'll do a cut-in showing the holster and this belt that I'm going to show in a second, actually in use. But the holster is customizable, it's adjustable, you can get different clips and mounts for different types of things, for competition belts, regular outside the waistband. But fundamentally this is an outside the waistband holster, and this is a gun that is well suited for being outside the waistband. This particular clip design is more towards the competition realm. It's a little different than what you're used to. You push these two tabs in, and this flips up. So your belt would go in here, then you'd flip this down, clip it in place, and then flip this locking arm up. And all this locking arm does is prevent these buttons from being pushed in, so it can't get released. So it would be very difficult for this to accidentally get released, because you almost have to take the belt off to access this, to flip this down, to then be able to push these two tangs in to lift it up. So very, very secure for competition, and still usable for just classic outside the waistband carry, especially if you're in an open carry state where that's something that you're allowed to do. So I'm going to take the gun out of the holster, and it has good retention, by the way. I had to kind of give it a little bit of a yank to get it loose. The belt that here is not something that would normally come with it. This is to show that there are accessories ready to work with that holster and this gun if you were wanting to pick one of these up to begin with competition. So this is the Ronin Tactical Sensei belt, and it's a nylon weave. It's got black trim and a kind of a camo pattern, and it has what they're calling the Cobra buckle that does have a D-ring on it, and that D-ring can be used, clamped down. That D-ring can be pulled out if you want to attach accessories to it, and throughout the belt there's locations for MOLLE, and there's an inner liner, which I'll show you in a second. But this buckle is really nice in that it's really solid, it retains well, it won't come open easily, so it would be difficult to accidentally drop it or have somebody trying to use the buckle to remove it from your belt. If there's tension on this, I can't release it. So if I push the buckle in just a bit and pull these two little tangs forward, it's kind of clumsy to do on screen, but then I can release it. So it's easy to release if you know what you're doing and you do it correctly. It's difficult to release if you're snatching at it. So if you were using this as a duty belt, it would be difficult for somebody to remove the belt without your permission. And for a competition belt, it would be difficult for it to just accidentally come apart or get knocked apart. But if you do it intentionally and you do it right and it's on your body in the right position, it's very easy to do. So I'm going to release it again because I'm going to show another feature of the belt, which I'm going to pause for a second and do this because Velcro is really annoying to listen to on a camera. This inner piece, which is Velcro, would go through your belt loops, and this is what would hold your pants up. This outer piece would stick to that Velcro, and as you see, it stuck quite well, and would have your rig on it. And I'll demonstrate that in a cut-in front of the green screen. But the key to it is you can remove the rig, adjust things, do what you need to do without having to pull this through your belt loops. So in the morning, as you're getting ready to go out, you put this on your pants through your belt loops, and this will hold your pants up, and you leave it there all day, regardless of whether or not you're actually having the rest of the rig, gun, magazines, or whatever else you've got. So a belt like this combined with a gun like this that's intended for competition is an absolutely perfect combination, and gives you an easy way to carry it outside the waistband and do your daily stuff. So I'm going to get the belt off the table and the holster off the table and make some room. One other thing we'll talk about from an accessory standpoint is this flashlight. It's a very bright flashlight. It's 1,000 lumens. There is a 650 lumen version of this available, and it's very easy to turn on with one finger. You can go down or you can go up. It's generally easier to use two fingers to turn it off because it's designed to be easy to turn on, so it doesn't require a lot of force. Turning it off is a little harder. It tends to want to skip past that middle position. But generally you're not going to be in a hurry turning it off, but you might be in a hurry turning it on. It really is bright. We did use it at the range. The only thing we noticed at the range is some of the PMC ammo we were using with this was really smoky, so it tended to create that fog effect. But without the smoke, when we were using a little bit cleaner ammo, it really lit the target up well, even though the range was brightly lit to begin with. So in a dark scenario, you're going to find this is going to light up very, very well. So the kit that came with it, this Ronin Tactical Sensei belt, and the Black Point Mew holster, along with the Springfield Armory Prodigy, I'm perfectly set up for a match. And of course, if I had additional mag, holsters, and various other things, I can attach them to this belt. But it's very comfortable. It centers on my body nicely. I can adjust the holster anywhere I want to. Comes time to draw, it's easy to get to, and just as easy to reholster because it holds it wide open. It's easy to see. Now also, the other option I would have, if I were in a competition where it was necessary to go slide lock back, it will retain just as easily. So I could have the slide lock back if I'm in a particular scenario where that's a requirement. Or, of course, ready to go with the safety on, whichever way I want to do it. Now if I am in a situation where I need to take the rig off, all I have to do is push the buckles together a little bit, push these two little levers. I can separate the rig from my belt and still have my pants held up by the inner Velcro section. And it's just as easy to put it back on when I'm done with that. If you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click that bell to be notified if you do. Check us out on Facebook, Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, Getter, pretty much everywhere. And thank you.